Welcome. I want to tell you a story. Not a story from a textbook. Not a story about grammar rules. A real story. About a real person. Her name is Sarah. And 10 years ago, she was a single mom with 2 kids, working a minimum wage job, barely surviving. No college degree, no connections, no hope. But today, she is the CEO of a multi-million-dollar company. Today, I am telling you her complete story, word by word, lesson by lesson. And I am showing you exactly what English you will learn from her journey of overcoming obstacles and believing in yourself when nobody else did. Because this is not just about business. This is about transformation. And transformation is the most powerful teacher. Let us go. Let me introduce you to Sarah. She was born in a small town, working-class family. Her parents worked hard but never got ahead. By the time Sarah was 25, she was a single mom, 2 kids, no father in the picture. She was working at a fast food restaurant, making minimum wage, living paycheck to paycheck. Every day was the same. Wake up at 5 in the morning, get the kids ready, drop them at daycare, work 8 hours, pick them up, come home exhausted, make dinner, help with homework, put them to bed, fall asleep on the couch, repeat. She was not living, she was surviving, and she knew it. She would lie in bed at night thinking, is this it? Is this my whole life? Am I going to be stuck here forever? She loved her kids, but she was afraid. Afraid she could not give them a better life. Afraid she was not smart enough. Afraid she did not have what it took. That is where our story starts. Not with confidence. With fear. For 3 years, Sarah lived in that fear. She applied for better jobs, but without a degree, without experience, nobody hired her. She got rejected. Again and again. Each rejection hurt. Each no reinforced what she believed about herself. That she was not good enough. That she was stuck. Her English was not great either. She could speak it, but not fluently, not confidently. And in job interviews, she felt that insecurity. She would stammer. She would second-guess herself. And the interviewers would sense it. They would see a scared, uncertain woman, not a capable leader. One day, she reached rock bottom. She was crying in her car after another failed interview. Her daughter knocked on the window and asked, "Mommy, why are you sad?" And Sarah realized something. Her daughter was watching her, learning from her, and Sarah was teaching her that when things get hard, you cry, you give up, you accept defeat. That moment changed everything. Sarah made a decision that night. She said to herself, I am not doing this anymore. I am not teaching my kids that life is impossible. I am going to change. I am going to fight. And I am going to win. Not for me, for them. The next day, Sarah did something radical. She enrolled in a free online business course. She could not afford college, but she could find free resources. She started watching videos, reading articles, learning about business, leadership, marketing. She spent 2 hours every night after the kids went to bed, just learning. And she started practicing her English, not because she was learning it as a language, but because she was consuming English content, reading English articles about business, listening to English podcasts about leadership. Without realizing it, her English was getting better, stronger, more confident. After 3 months, she had an idea, a small business idea. She noticed that women like her, single moms, working moms, busy moms, needed help. They needed a service that made their lives easier, so she decided to start a cleaning business. But not just any cleaning business. A business run by and for women who understood the struggles of balancing work and family. She borrowed $200 from her sister. She made flyers on her computer. She hand-delivered them to every house on her street. And she waited. The first call came on a Saturday morning. An older woman said, I need help with my house. Can you come tomorrow? Sarah's hands were shaking as she said yes. Her voice was nervous, unsure, but she did the work. She cleaned that house better than she would ever cleaned anything. And the woman paid her for her work, For the first time in years, Sarah felt something. Hope. The first year was brutal. Sarah worked her restaurant job during the day, did cleaning jobs at night and on weekends. She made barely any money. Many nights she only got 4 hours of sleep. There were moments she wanted to quit. Moments she thought, this is too hard. I cannot do this. But she kept going. She told herself every single day, I am building something. This is temporary. This is not forever. By the end of year 1, she had 5 regular customers. By the end of year 2, she had 30. She hired her first employee, and then her second. She was growing, slowly, but growing. But Sarah realized something. She was working so hard, but she was still trading hours for money. She needed to scale. She needed to build a system. So she did something scary. She quit her restaurant job. She went all in on her business. That was the scariest decision of her life. Because now, if her business failed, she had nothing. No backup. No safety net. Just 2 kids, depending on her. But she moved forward. She created a system. She trained her employees. She wrote a manual. She standardized everything. And slowly, her business became a machine. It did not depend on her working every single hour. It worked because of good systems, good people, good leadership. By year 5, she had 50 employees. By year 7, she was getting acquisition offers. Companies wanted to buy her business. But Sarah did not sell. She had a bigger vision. She created a second company, then a third. She mentored other women starting their own businesses. She became a leader in her community. And 3 years ago, when the board of directors for a major company approached her, they offered her the CEO position. Sarah said yes. Now, throughout this journey, Sarah said certain things that became her mantras, things she repeated to herself when she wanted to quit. And these phrases, they teach you English, but more importantly, they teach you about life. Sarah used to say, I am capable of more than I believe. Not I think I might be able to do things. Not maybe I can try. She said, I am capable of more. Present tense. Declarative. Powerful. This is the English of confidence. She also said, every rejection is a redirection. When she did not get the job, she did not say, I failed. She said, this was not the right path. Something better is coming. This is the English of resilience, of reframing, of seeing setback as setup. Another phrase she repeated was, I am not ready yet, but I am becoming ready. She did not wait until she was perfect. She took action, while still learning. This is the English of growth mindset, of progress over perfection. And when things got hard, she would say to her kids, Mommy is struggling, but Mommy is not stopping. She was honest about the difficulty, but she was clear about her commitment. This is the English of authenticity, of real strength. Today, Sarah is the CEO of a company with 1,000 employees. She makes decisions that affect thousands of people's lives. She speaks at conferences. She is interviewed on podcasts. She mentors other entrepreneurs. But here is what is remarkable. She still remembers. She remembers being that single mom. She remembers the fear, the doubt, the nights she cried in her car. She has not forgotten where she came from. And when young people ask her, how did you do it? How did you go from nothing to everything? She does not give them a complicated answer. She says, I believed. I took action. And I never stopped. She speaks with authority now. Not because her English is perfect, but because she knows who she is. She has lived the story. She has earned the right to speak. And that confidence, that authenticity, that is what makes her powerful. That is what makes people listen. So here is what Sarah's story teaches you about English. And about life. First, you learn that English is not about perfection. Sarah's English was not perfect when she started, but she spoke anyway. She used the English she had. And she got better by using it, not by studying it from a textbook. Second, you learn that transformation is possible. Sarah did not have the right circumstances. She did not have money. She did not have education. She did not have connections, but she had something more powerful. She had belief. She had determination. She had a reason bigger than herself. Third, you learn that your story matters. Sarah's story is unique. Your story is unique. And when you can tell your story with confidence, with clarity, with emotion, people listen. That is powerful English. Not fancy words, but real words, real meaning, real power. And fourth, you learn that nobody is stuck. Nobody is limited by their circumstances. The only person who can stop you is you. Sarah could have stayed in fear, but she chose to fight, and she won. That is the lesson. That is what transforms you not just as an English speaker, but as a human being. I want to tell you something. Sarah's story is not unique because she is special. It is unique because she chose to act. She chose to believe in herself when everything around her says she should give up. She chose to keep going when it would have been easier to stop. And you can do the same thing with your English, with your life, with whatever you are facing right now. Maybe you are struggling with English. Maybe you feel like you are not good enough. Maybe you think you will never be fluent. But Sarah felt the same way about business. She felt the same way about leadership. She felt the same way about herself. And she changed, not because she became a different person, but because she decided to become better every single day. That is the power of the story. That is why I wanted to tell you about Sarah. Because your transformation is possible. Your English fluency is possible. Your dreams are possible. Not someday. Not when you are ready. Not when you are perfect. Now. Today. With the first step. That is what Sarah's story teaches us. That is what transforms you. So here is what I want you to do. Think about Sarah's journey. Think about one obstacle you are facing right now. Maybe it is English. Maybe it is something else. And ask yourself, what would Sarah do? She would take action. She would keep going. She would believe in herself. Now do that. Take one action today. Have one conversation in English. Learn one new phrase. Build one habit. Start your own transformation. And if this story inspired you, if it showed you that transformation is possible, if it taught you something about English and about life, then subscribe to this channel right now. Because we tell stories that change you, stories that teach you, stories that transform you. Your story is waiting to be written. Let us begin. Thanks for watching. Now go transform.